What's up guys, Trey here with ExtremeTerrain.com, and today we're taking a look at the Barricade roof rack with a texture black finish designed to fit the 2007 to 2018 Jeep Wrangler JK 2-doors. This is going to be a great solution for JK owners needing extra cargo space or versatility, especially useful during outdoor adventures while maintaining a rugged, off-road ready look. This Barricade roof rack is built to support additional storage without sacrificing style or aerodynamics. It provides a high-strength structure capable of holding up to 350 pounds of cargo, which is going to be perfect for rooftop tents, camping gear, or additional supplies for overlanding and even long road trips. This black powder coat finish ensures durability and a rust-resistant surface, making it ideal for those tough outdoor conditions. The design integrates seamlessly with your Wrangler's aesthetic, offering a bold yet functional appearance. Also, the rack is engineered to work with most hard and soft tops, allowing you to access and operate your top without needing to remove the rack. This rack is going to cover your entire cab and body, starting down behind the hood, running all the way up, over the car, all the way back to that back bumper. I couldn't fit the full build out right here on the table, so I'm gonna encourage you to head over to the website and check out the massive collection of 500 plus reviews and over 100 customer submitted photos so you can see what it looks like in a number of different builds. This roof rack is constructed from heavy duty 2-inch steel tubing to provide strength and rigidity. The black powder coat finish not only enhances its rugged aesthetic, but also offers an excellent corrosion resistant surface, ensuring long-term reliability. The included crossbars are also adjustable to accommodate various load configurations, or you can even remove crossbars for ultimate customization options. Now, as far as pricing goes on this, it's gonna come in right around that $700 price range. So considering the robust construction and the utility it offers, it's an excellent investment for JK owners looking to expand their vehicle's cargo capacity. The install process is going to be pretty straightforward, but it will require some time. So it does earn a 2 out of 3 wrenches on our difficulty meter, and you need about 2 hours to complete the installation. The rack mounts securely to your Jeep using included hardware, and all the necessary brackets, bolts, and instructions are provided right there in the kit. So let's check out an install video from one of our Extreme Terrain customers and see exactly how this goes on your Jeep.
All right, so here's all the tools I use for the install. Here's my T30 socket. This is what I used to take off the original bolts that were on the, I think it's called the windshield fender. And then I have the 16 millimeter, great for removing the bumper, but also if you are installing on the frame underneath where the bumper was, you will need the 18 and 16 millimeter for those hex bolts. 1/2 inch, this worked for the other hex bolts that went near the windshield. 3/8 ratchet. I had an extender just to help me get around the mirror near the windshield. Breaker bar was helpful just to break loose some stubborn bolts underneath the bumper. Allen wrench came with the set, which is helpful, and then also rubber mallet just to make sure those holes went in nice and smooth. Okay, step 1 in the instruction manual is to take off the factory screws from both the passenger and the right side windshield frame. There's 4 screws on this side, and there will be 4 screws on the driver's side. I'm going to use my T30 on my 3/8 inch wrench to get that off. I'm also going to remove the antenna on this side just to get it out of the way. I keep it loose anyways for when I go through car washes. Okay, now those bolts are removed. Next we got to put the front rack leg on for both the passenger side and the driver's side. Just make sure that the bar can fit across here in the front and going in the back, and that's how you know it's the passenger side or the right side. We have to place these adhesive pads that came with the kit on the back so that there's foam between the rack and the Jeep. I will stick those on there, peel off the back, and then I'll cut out holes for the bolts. You should also trim them to the size of the attachment piece here. I'll do that now. Okay, so I'm going to use the 8mm hex bolts. It took me a second to figure out which one that was, but if you sort out all the bolts, you can discover pretty quickly that you need at least 8 of the hex bolts, so I will definitely be using these smaller ones. And here's the washer I'll use, and the locking washer will go on it. I'll put the locking washer on first, and then solid washer, and I'll use these to attach it to the Jeep. All right, so here is the 8mm by 35mm hex bolt. I have the locking washer and the flat washer on there, and now I'm going to just hold this up, start that with my hand, and to tighten, using my 3/8 wrench, and I have the 1/2" socket to get it tight. I'm not going to get this super tight. I'm just going to put it on there now so I can get the rest of the bolts. That's going to hold it in place. I'll get the rest of the bolts and put those 4 in. All right, those are not super tight. They're just enough to hold it on there. This one took so long because I wanted to make sure I didn't cross thread it. I'm just gonna put my antenna back on. And I'm gonna do the same to the other side. Step 4 says I need to select and separate the slightly longer 8mm by 70mm button head bolts. They're at the top. There are 8 of them, and then I have the longer 8mm by 65mm that I'll be using for this next step. All right, so next step I got to put the front crossbar on. You know this is the front one because it's got these 4 spaces for extra lights. If you want to add some extra lights to the top. Here are the bolts. Again, this is the 8 by 65 button head bolt. I'm going to put 1 flat washer. Then it's going to go through the top with another washer on the other side, and the locking locking nut on the other side. I really make sure that these bolts are as loose as possible because you're going to need a lot of play to slide this crossbar in. I'll do that now. Alright, so you can see how this bolt is set up. You got the button head bolt and the washer, and another washer, and the locking lug nut on the back side. I'm going to do that for this side, and then do it for the same side over there. Okay, so I have that bolt in, holding the front crossbar. I'm not going to tighten anything, I just have that hand tight. You're going to need, again, some wiggle room while you're putting everything else on. Okay, so next I'm going to put the long rail on both sides, going from the front to the back. It's important that you make note which one is the right and the left side, or the passenger and driver side. The mounting holes for the crossbars should be facing out. So I know this is my passenger side because when I slide it into the hole there, these holes line up top and bottom, and I have my crossbar holes facing to the outside. I'm going to make sure I do the same thing on the other side. So while this is in, I'm going to take that same 8x65 button head bolt, slide it through the top, make sure it comes out the bottom. I already had one washer on it, putting another flat washer with the locking nut just to hand tighten. All right, and then I'm gonna go do the same to the other side. Okay, and now for one of the more difficult parts, I think, of the install, and that for me is going to be removing the rear bumper. So I have a factory rear bumper that wraps around. I'm choosing to install the rear of the rack to the frame. And you'll see I'm going to have to remove these bolts here that hold the rear bumper on. I'll get a new bumper that doesn't wrap all the way around, so the back part of the luggage rack frame can clear here. Otherwise, if you don't want to take your factory bumper off, you can install the rear part of the luggage rack frame here, but it does require some drilling into the body. I'm going to skip that. I want a new bumper anyways, so I'm going to take this factory one off. That will require taking off the spare, and also my trailer hitch will have to come off as well. All right, so it's starting to rain a little bit. Good thing I'm underneath. So here are the bolts I'm going to work with. So there's 2 bolts on each side, hold the bumper to the frame. These are 16 millimeter. I'm going to use a shallow socket for each one of these. You also have to use that 16 millimeter for these bolts. This is where the bumper attaches to the frame again in the back. If you have a trailer hitch, you have to use your 18 millimeter shallow socket to get these 4 bolts off. Make sure that all of your electrical's out of the way. Okay, so I removed this bolt on each side. Again, that's 16 millimeter. I thought I could slide the bumper off without removing that bolt. That's another 16 millimeter. It's kind of wedged up there, so it's going to be pretty difficult to get off. But I'll work it out a little bit and then see how it goes. Okay, so great news. 16 millimeter shallow socket with my ratchet fits fine there. Pro tip though, make sure you don't remove this bolt before you remove that one. This bolt holds the metal bracket in place so that when you loosen that it doesn't spin. So keep this bolt at least in there hand tight so you can loosen that bolt first. All right, I did not need to take the towing receiver off the bumper or the frame in order to get the bumper off. Once I got those bolts disconnected from the top, it came off really easy. So this bolt right here was attached to this metal bracket. This is the bolt that was inside the bumper, and underneath you can see it. This is the bolt I'm going to take off, and the rear of the frame will be exposed. And I just have to take off the towing hook because this will not be used on my aftermarket bumper. All right, the bumper is removed. The rain's not letting up any, and my garage is too full to do this in the garage, so we're gonna do it in the cold rain. Now I'm gonna use these larger hex screws and these slightly smaller ones to put on the back part of the frame. Make sure you match up the washers and the locking washers to both sets. I will show you how this is going to go on in just a second. Okay, so working on the passenger side, I have my rear bracket for the passenger side of the Jeep. This came with the kit. It's got the bolts welded to it. It's going to go into the frame where the bumper was attached. All right, so it's going to better angle. I'm going to take it where the bolts are facing away. And it's going to slide right in to the frame because that's going to go here. There's 3 different holes you can see here, so you can line them up on the frame, just whatever works best. Something I should also note, I have the locking washer and then the other flat washer that's going to slide on. As with everything else, I'm not going to completely tighten it yet, but I do want to get it a little bit tighter than just hand tight because I can't get it all the way through really. So I'm going to use my 16 millimeter, my 18 millimeter again. It makes sense, 18 millimeter is going to go with the bigger of the 2 bolts in the back, and the 16 millimeter is going to help tighten the smaller of the 2 towards the front. Alright, that's got enough plated for me so that I can move some stuff around later. Exact same thing to the other side. So quick update, I'm now on the driver's side, rear of the Jeep. While I was lucky that I didn't have to take off the receiver when to take the bumper off, I do have to take this off, this tow hook off, to use the bolt holes for the rear bracket. This is attached by 3 bolts. You got 1 there, and then these 2. They're quite long and very rusty, so it's going to take a minute to get these off. I have some lubricant on there and thankfully a breaker bar. This takes the 18 millimeter socket on the breaker bar. I'm going to work through this, but it is very slow going because it's so rusted. Be right back. Alright, so after this is attached, this is going to slide onto the top. On this side, we have the same piece for the passenger side. We have our rear crossbar. It only has a spot for the 2 lights. You can put the lights on the inside or facing the outside. I'm going to face them on the outside because eventually I will get some light loading lights. Slide this in like so, and make sure the holes are lined up. You have to push this back piece that way and this forward so you can slide this pole in here. There's not a lot of wiggle room, so you really got to use some effort and then get that going. But before I hammer that in, I'm going to get the other side put in as well. It's going to take a lot of oomph to get in there. All right, so I loosened the front, and that helped a lot to slide that in there. All right, now it's just wiggling to get the holes lined up. And I'm going to put my 8 millimeter by 65 in these holes, just like I did on the front. Rubber mallet definitely works. That's a huge, huge help. I'm gonna come over here on this side, do the same thing. Get those, once those holes are lined up, Get to slide these in now. Again, hand tighten everything right now, because you might need to play in another step. All right, there's that bolt. All right, just hand tight. Next step. Okay, just like the front has the holes underneath the lights, this back one does too. And here are the little rubber plugs. I'll put that hole until I'm gonna use it later. All right, those are covered up. Okay, so now we're ready to put the 3 crossbars on the top. I'm gonna go into detail with the middle one, but you just take these steps and repeat on all 3 crossbars. So this is where you use the 8mm by 70mm bolts. Again, 2 washers. Remember, washer by the head side and washer by the tightening side. I'll show you that in just a moment. Line it up with the holes. And this is one you definitely want to make sure you have the 70mm. That first bolt I was using was the 65. Doesn't seem like that big of a difference at first, but you really you notice it when you don't have the 70. You need just that little bit more thread for this to catch. There is, after you get this on, you want to zoom in on this. There's a hole in the top of the knob. Kit comes with these rubber pieces that slide in. I'll protect that. All right, there you go. Okay, so to help tighten it, there's an Allen wrench that comes with the kit when I tighten everything down. I'm gonna hold the Allen wrench down and turn the knob. Now I gotta do that 5 more times. All right, so all 3 crossbars are up. Now everything is done. Now you can go through and tighten all the bolts. I'm gonna start on this side and work my way around, making sure I tighten every bolt that I see, including here for these rounded hex bolt that gives you an Allen wrench tool. I'm gonna keep that with me. Everything else, these are gonna be the 1/2 inch for my socket. I do have an extension that I'll use so that I don't hit the mirror and the bar. Give me a little bit more space to turn it. For the back, remember we got 16 and 18mm. Get down there and really tighten those. I strongly recommend, well, for me, this was the best way to attach it. There are many more steps if you're going to screw into the frame to attach the back support instead of attaching it to the bottom of the frame. But if you're going to drill into the body, there's several more steps, several more pieces. It involves taking off the back tail light cap so you can really get in there and attach it to the support bracket. Again, I didn't do any of that, just attach it to the frame. I think that was easier after I got the tow hook off. So now we just gotta tighten everything.
All right, that's gonna wrap up our review and install of the Barricade roof rack with the textured black finish for the 2007 to 2018 Jeep Wrangler JK 2-Doors. And for all things Wrangler, keep it right here at ExtremeTerrain.com.